Hello to everyone, and welcome back to Multifamily Mastery, episode 7, I think. This is a podcast where I take you on a journey into real estate investing as a complete beginner and hopefully end up somewhere someday. I'm your host, Jonathan Zook, and once again, welcome. All right, it has been a little bit since the last episode. Had some life changes and stuff, as you can see, new space. I have my own house now. That's pretty cool. It's really cool, actually. I love it. Anyway, I was also at Flip Hacking Live in San Diego, and that's kind of what I want to focus on this episode, but it's going to really be my focus this next coming episode, which will be a summary of a lot of the stuff that I learned there. Yes, I know it's single family. This is a multifamily podcast. I don't really care. I'm going to say it because this is a podcast about what I learned, and that's what I learned about. So, yeah. All right. So, anyways, today I wanted to focus on multifamily versus single family and how those two assets are different. So, the biggest one being obviously single family versus multifamily. With single family, it's one family or person under that roof. It's kind of like one building. With multifamily, it's different because you have a lot of different people or families all under the same roof. So, for example, a single family asset would be like just a house. This house, your house, that's a single family asset. Multifamily could be something like apartment buildings. That's the biggest multifamily. Sometimes people consider mobile home parks and some other things to be multifamily as well. It just depends. Single family tends to be mostly solo work, one person doing it. That can change definitely when people scale up their businesses and put people in place to do different things inside of that single family business so that they can get a lot more volume and go through a lot more houses, basically. Multifamily, however, is really, really incredibly hard to do alone. You basically, it's possible, but to make it easier on yourself and everybody around you, it is probably best to put a team in place for any multifamily deal. With single family, a lot of the times people will start, some of them will stay solo, but then as they scale up, they'll grow a team. With multifamily, it's different because you basically want a team straight from the get-go, straight from the beginning, because managing, acquiring, and paying for a multi-million-dollar apartment complex is pretty difficult by yourself. The better one of the two assets, it depends on the person and their level of experience. So a lot of people that I've seen will start in single family, they'll scale that up, but then they'll eventually move into multifamily where they can scale even more a lot easier. Multifamily is easier to scale because you can get just bigger and bigger and bigger apartment buildings at the same time, kind of. You don't need more deals. You can just get bigger deals, which is much different than single family. Single family, I wouldn't say it's instant gratification because obviously there's hard work and everything that goes into it, but you get your money a lot quicker than multifamily. Multifamily takes a long time, especially if you're a GP, a general partner, which is anyone that's active in the deal. That's your acquisitions people that are finding the deal. That's your asset manager that's managing the deal. And what's the other one? Oh yeah, capital raiser, which are raising money for the down payment and all that stuff on the deal. So those are the GPs. The LPs usually get their money first. Those are limited partners. They kind of just put money into the deal and let it do its thing. So they fund a lot of it. So anyway, like I was saying, especially as a GP, it could take, depending on your business plan, of course, and what you're doing with that complex, it could take 3, 5, sometimes 7 years for you to make any money, really, and start any cash flow on a multifamily complex. So yes, multifamily may take longer, a lot longer, but a lot of the times you can have a lot better returns off of that as well. Yeah, single family, basically kind of money, just cash flowing money in, and multifamily could be considered building wealth over time, a long time. All right, next I have the three main things that I've seen, the three main ways to do single family real estate, basically. Number one is flipping houses. Flipping houses, it's pretty simple. You buy a house that's maybe run down, you fix it up, you put it on the market again, you sell it, you make a profit, boom. Pretty simple in those terms. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's the gist of it. It doesn't have to be run down. Sometimes people buy houses that aren't really run down, make them a lot nicer, and then sell them for more. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about flipping a house, but that's the gist of it. Next is wholesaling houses. That's basically where someone buys the contract to a house and sells it to another party, which is usually a flipper, and then they make a profit selling the contract of it. And then the last one I have is rentals. Granted, there are a lot more ways to make money in single family, and I'll get on to more of those in the next episode, but this is just kind of the basics. Next is rentals. That's where you buy the house. Obviously, you have to buy the house. You may fix it up, you may not, but you start renting it out as a rental. Whoa. So you start doing that, and then if you did the deal right, you ran your numbers, everything, you execute it correctly, your rent will be more than your payment on the house. So eventually it'll pay itself off, and then that's when you start getting that cash flow and getting that money in. All right, so yeah, that's the gist of it, but I want to touch on one more thing in this. When flipping houses, when doing a multifamily deal, a lot of times one of the most efficient ways to go about it is adding equity and value add to the profit. So equity, it's basically, the way I say it is, it's value added to the property between purchase and sale of the property. So for example, you buy a house, 150K, the market goes up, you sell the house for 180K, that's boom, $30,000 of equity right there. Granted, that is not profit. That's just the value added over time. Another example, you buy an apartment building for $2 million, you do the value add, you sell for $3 million, that's $1 million of equity that is created. That's just value added to the property. So that's how I think about it. That's the easiest way for me to think about it. All right, well, that about wraps it up for this episode. A little bit shorter one, but that's okay. I've got some longer ones with some more really cool people coming on. So look out for those soon, and look out for the episode next week with a summary of Flip Hacking Live.